appearance.
May it please the court, my name is Nurul Hamiza, Senior Counsel for the Plaintiff Shah.
My name is Naira Sofia binti Abdul Halib, Junior Counsel for the Plaintiff Shah.
This case is about a principal who gives some instruction to the agent, but the agent was disobeyed the instruction and sold the watermelons at a very low price. In this case, Aiman, who runs a lorry transport service, was instructed by Shah to deliver some watermelons from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur. But Aiman was disobeyed the instruction that given by Shah and sold the watermelons at a very low price without Shah's authority.
May it please the court, my name is Rubasri, Senior Counsel for the defendant Aiman.
My name is Dai Isian, Junior Counsel for the defendant Aiman.
Here, I would like to take this case to compensation to the defendant. This case about an agent can claim by necessity where the agent to claim his salary of selling the watermelons. In this case, Shah ordered Aiman to send the watermelons by lorry. However, the lorry's tire burst and caused watermelons to be damaged.
Submission.
Your Honor, Shah can sue Aiman because Aiman made a decision without Shah's authority. This is because Aiman was disobeyed the instruction that given from Shah, who instructed him to deliver some watermelons from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the issue of this case is whether Shah can sue Aiman because Aiman sold watermelons with a very low price. Relating to this case, Shah cannot sue Aiman. This is because Aiman is an agent by necessity, cannot be sued by a principal, and an agent is entitled to additional payment for Aiman's efforts.
Law definition.
Primary duties are act on behalf of and be subject to the control of the principal. Discharge is his duties with appropriate care and diligence and avoid conflict or interest between his personal interests and the interests of the principal. Relating to our case, Aiman disobeyed the Shah instruction by selling watermelon at low price without informing the Shah.
Agency by necessity is a person who has no authority may become an agent due to the necessity or emergency circumstance in order to protect principal from any loss. Relating to our case, agency by necessity is Aiman, who has no authority may become an agent due to the necessity of or emergency circumstance that is some watermelons were damaged and Aiman in order to protect Shah from any loss.
Section.
Section 164, Agent's duty in conducting principal's business. An agent is bound to conduct the business of his principal according to the direction given by the principal, or in the absence of any such directions, according to the custom which prevails in doing business of the same kind at the place where the agent conduct the business. When agent act otherwise, if any loss be sustained, he must make it good to his principal, and if any profit accrues, he must account for it. Relate to our case section 164 Act Contract 1950, Aiman must send watermelon from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur without any damage, but there was an accident and part of the watermelon was damaged. Then Aiman act the other way around by selling watermelons at a cheap price. If there was a loss on his profits, Aiman would have to bear it.
Your Honor, under Section 144 of the Contract Act 1950, an agent has authority in an emergency to do all such acts for the purpose of protecting his principal from loss as would be done by a person of ordinary prudence. In his own case, under similar circumstance. Relate to our case based on section 142 of the Contract Act 1950, Aiman has authority in an emergency to sold watermelons that damaged at very low price to passerby, and remaining watermelons which were not damaged were loaded onto his friend's lorry for the purpose of protecting Shah from loss, as would be done by Aiman in his own case under similar circumstance.
Case.
According to Turpin v. Bilton, 1843, the agent failed to ensure a ship when instructed to do so, and the ship was lost. Head: agent is liable. Related to the case Turpin v. Bilton, 1843, Aiman failed to deliver some watermelon without any damage. When Shah, who was instructed Aiman to deliver some watermelon from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur, during the trip, Aiman was accident and has caused the watermelon was damaged. Aiman decided to keep Shah profit. Based on the judgment, Shah may order the Aiman to be liable for the loss of the Shah profit.
Your Honor, according to Great Northern Railway v. Stafford, the facts is the plaintiff railway company had transported a horse to a station on behalf of defendant. When the horse arrived, there was nobody to collect it. So the plaintiff sent it to a stable. A number of months later, the plaintiff paid the stabling charges and then straight to recover what it had paid from the defendant. In this case, the court was held that the plaintiff's claim succeeded even though he is involved in the extension of doctrine of agency of necessity to include carriers of goods by land. There was an agency of necessity because the plaintiff was found to have had no choice but to arrange for the proper care of the horse. Relating to our case, Aiman unfortunately sold all the watermelons at very low price to passerby due to the accident. Based on the judgment in Great Northern Railway v. Swaffles case, Shah cannot sue Aiman because Aiman was an agent by necessity and therefore entitled to the claim.
Conclusion.
Your Honor, the conclusion in this case is Shah can sue Aiman because Aiman made a decision without Shah's authority. This is because Aiman was disobeyed the instruction that given from Shah, who instructed him to deliver some watermelons from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur. In our case, Aiman disobeyed the Shah's instruction by selling watermelons at low prices without informing the Shah. Relating to our case sections 164 Act Contract 1950, Aiman must send watermelons from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur without any damage. But there was an accident and part of the watermelons was damaged. Then Aiman acted the other way around by selling watermelons at a cheap price. If there was a loss of his profits, Aiman would have to bear it.
Related to the case Turpin v. Bilton, 1843, Aiman failed to deliver some watermelons without any damage. When Shah, who was instructed Aiman to deliver some watermelons from Temerloh Pahang to Kuala Lumpur, during the trip, Aiman was accident and has caused the watermelons was damaged. Aiman decided to keep Shah profit. Based on the judgment, Shah may order the Aiman to be liable for the loss of the Shah profit. Thus, Aiman breached the contract with his duties as agent to principal. Shah can sue and claim the damage because Aiman disobeyed his instruction.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as the conclusion in this case, Shah cannot sue Aiman. This is because Aiman is an agent by necessity, cannot be sued by principal, and an agent is entitled to additional payment for Aiman effort. Based on the definition of agency by necessity, is Aiman who has no authority may become an agent due to the necessity or emergency circumstance. There is some watermelons were damaged, and Ayman, in order to protect Shah from any loss. Based on Section 142 of Contract Act 1950, Ayman has authority in an emergency to sell watermelon that damaged at very low price, and he sell to passerby, and remaining watermelons which was no damage were loaded onto his friend lorry for the purpose of protecting Shah from loss, as would be done by Ayman in his own case. Under similar circumstances relating to our case, Ayman sold all the watermelon at very low price to passerby due to the accident. Based on the judgment in Great Northern Railway v. Suffield case, Shah cannot sue Ayman. This is because Ayman is an agent by necessity and therefore entitled to the claim. Thus, Ayman is an agent by necessity, he should protect Shah from any loss. Shah cannot sue Ayman, and he should pay the additional payment for Ayman's effort.